Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Fancy Food Friday. My name is Tracy, and I am here joining you today. I'm going to have a special guest on today that I am super excited about, and we are going to talk about efficient weight loss, or simple and efficient weight loss. So, y'all know I'm awkward talking about weight loss. But Korynn is very, very, very comfortable talking about it. So good morning, everybody. Yay, y'all are hopping on fast. See, this is a good subject. It's a good topic. I forgot to send my little messenger bot out today, the little message that you get in the message bot. So I'm curious to see if that makes a difference with how many people we have show up today. But anyway, you guys are here, and I am so glad that it's Friday. And Korynn's on. She's already on. I'm going to invite her on the screen with me here in just a minute. I just wanted to give us a few minutes to get some people rolling in, and I'm reading comments as fast as I can. Yay, Linda. Linda's lost 8 pounds. Look at that. I didn't even have to ask her to share it. She just threw that out there. That is someone who's excited. That is awesome. I love that. Good morning, Ellen. Good morning, Nini. Good morning, Korynn and Elaine. Oh my gosh, I love seeing you guys on here. Hi, Korynn. Korynn saying hi. So this was a lot of fun. Korynn and I practiced on Wednesday doing a little dual screen because she's never done a live. This is her first live, and y'all will be shocked because she's really, really comfortable on the camera. So she's a natural. And we practiced that and had a little talk. And so all I had to do today to prepare was to show up. And I have a pad and a pen because once she starts talking, I wanted to let you guys know that you can ask questions. You go ahead and ask the questions. I'll be here watching, and good questions that come up, I'm going to log down. And when she gets to her question and answer portion, then I will prompt her with some of the questions that you guys are waiting for. So she's going to get on and kind of just get on a little roll, and we'll let her do that because she did it for me and she was super natural. And I was like, okay, what you just did, everything you just said, that's all you need to say. So she was like, oh, good. I don't even have to practice. So good morning, Trevor. Lori, okay, Lori is on. Lori's 13 pounds down. Changes for life, mindful eating. Lori is doing mindful eating. And I know that sounds simple, and it actually is kind of simple, and Korynn's going to tell us that. But Lori is a client of Korynn's and a fellow painting buddy here too, and I'm following her journey. I kind of sneak on you guys. Did y'all know that? I kind of creep sometimes. I read comments and I go and I look, especially if you say that you're doing things, I'm there. I'm watching. Trev, good morning, Trevor. How are you this morning, sunshine? Are you happy? Trevor's my son-in-law. You guys know that. Y'all say good morning to Trevor. My daughter Haley said he's been a little grumpy this week. So it's Friday, Trev. Time to get happy. You need some green juice in your life. This is coffee. Cindy, good morning. And Heather, good morning to you. All right, so I think that's it. What do you think of hemp protein to add to smoothie? Good question. I'm going to bring Korynn on because if you guys are going to start throwing out questions, I'm going to start writing them down. So I need to pay attention. Oh, good. Aunt Kathy's on. Aunt Kathy, Korynn had a question for you. She received your email through her website, and she said she responded but hadn't heard back from you. She just wanted to make sure that you got it because her website's relatively new, and sometimes when you set up the new websites, there is glitches in the email system, and I learned that the hard way, and things get lost and they don't connect properly. So if you'll just let us know if you got it and you've just been too busy to answer, that's totally fine. She's good with that. But because you're my aunt, and she wanted to make sure she didn't leave you hanging because you're special. So that's all. Good morning, Ellen and Nicolette. And can I freeze juice? Good question. Good question. I've not been asked that question. So, all right. So let's bring her on. I'm going to do this little swipey thing on my, and guys, did y'all know that I could bring any of you on at any time. Literally, like while we're doing lives, I could surprise you. I mean, you'd have to accept it. I'm not going to jump into your living room while you're sitting there in your robe or anything, but any of us can do this. So this is super exciting. So I'm going to swipe. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I was going to swipe. Let's see. Wow, it got really dark, didn't I? Let's see. It's not swiping. There we go, Korynn. Okay, I'm inviting Korynn. Korynn, okay, let's give her a few minutes. It says that she's being added, and yay!
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yay.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure the volume was up.
Okay, so I got to figure out how to get the rest of these people off. So let me see if I swipe back. Let me do that. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. I got to get those off so I can see the comments because I want to be able to read the comments. So give us just a second, guys. So Korynn, you go ahead and start talking while I jack with this. Okay. Okay, because this is just my screen. So you guys, if y'all can see Korynn, will y'all give us some hearts and love and let us know that you can see her? And I'm just going to let you introduce yourself.
Okay, awesome. I have a list here of things that I want to talk about today to kind of keep me on track because sometimes I can go off on tangents about nutrition because I love it so much. So a little bit about myself. I have been studying nutrition since 2015. I decided to go back to college and get a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition because I'm obsessed with nutrition. I originally was doing sales and marketing, and I was in a high corporate job, was really stressed out, not happy, not healthy. I found myself doing a lot of research at night on the computer, on Google, trying to learn about nutrition. And what I realized is that the internet is a terrible place to learn about nutrition. Everything is very contradictory. And I just knew in my heart that I wanted to find truth, I guess you could say. And so I stopped working there and quit my job and went back to school. And I'm about 2 classes away. So I'll be graduating in May. I am not a registered dietitian yet, but I have a 6-month internship coming up. And once I complete that, it's rotations at a hospital, a community setting, and then food production as well. But once I complete that, I can sit for my exam and I will get my RD. So that's my disclosure. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a registered dietitian yet. I am a nutritionist, and I am studying nutrition. Let's see.
And you are a research ninja.
Yes, I'm evidence-based. I love anecdotal evidence. I think it's great, but I'm evidence-based. So when somebody asks me, what do you think about this? I go to the research first and always. I think it's really important to look at research with a critical eye and make sure that there's been enough research to say this is valid or it's not valid. And that's kind of how I guide my clients too.
Okay. Yay, I fixed it. I fixed my screen. So if you've asked a bunch of questions, oh, Korynn Blake's on. Say hi.
Hi, Blake.
Okay, so I am going to let you start talking, and if I look distracted over here, guys, just know that I am going back and looking for questions, and Korynn's gonna start with her spiel.
Okay, cool. And you can.
I'm so proud of you.
Too, in case something happens or there's an important question about something I'm talking about. Okay, all right. So I decided to make a list of my 8, since we're talking about weight loss, I decided I'm going to do my 8 weight loss tips that I give to my clients and kind of how I work through nutrition with clients. I think that's an important jumping off point to kind of keep us on schedule today. So my tip number 1, the biggest thing that I offer clients is to figure out what their issue is with their weight. We all have different issues. Some of us have portion control. Some of us love sugar. Some of it's stress, not sleeping enough. There's a lot of different things that can cause weight issues. And so I think the number 1 thing that we can all do if we're trying to have a new journey, such as yourself, if you're going on a health journey, you need to figure out what the problem is before you can find a solution. And so that's something I work with my clients on, and we kind of write down, well, what does your day look like? Try and figure out what you're consuming and what your lifestyle looks like so that we can help come up with some solutions. So that's my number 1 tip. Number two, what?
That is so important. That's so important. I mean, that's getting to the root. Let's get to the root.
Yeah.
Basically.
And sometimes you don't know what it is. And sometimes it takes talking to someone and hearing yourself say, oh, you know, I haven't been sleeping very much. I sleep 5 hours a night and I work 60 hours a week. Those kinds of things increase your cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And then that causes you to gain weight like it's your job.
Right.
So, you know,
I've never heard that. I think I had that job.
The cortisol job? Yeah, it happens when you're pregnant too, but that's a different hormone. It's another job.
Yeah.
So, okay, so tip number 2 is we need to choose a method that will work best for you. And this is extremely important when I'm talking to clients because we are all different people. We all have different personalities. Tracy is my dream nutrition student. She is very much rule setter, very structured. You give her rules, she will pay attention to a T and do exactly what you need her to do, which is amazing. Not all of us are like that. It can be really difficult to make a lifestyle change, especially when it comes to what you eat. Unfortunately, the school systems haven't helped us very much, and a lot of us don't know anything about nutrition. And I sometimes think it's on purpose. You know, like why do I not know about basic nutrition? And I have clients ask, why didn't I learn about this in school? Or we learned about the pyramid, which is a dinosaur and it's no longer being used. You know, there's my plate now. So those are things that, sorry, I got off track. I'm going to go back. So the tips are basically finding the method that works for you. And so all of us are different. And some people love calorie counting. I'm a calorie counter. I like to keep myself on track, and I like to count calories to make sure that I'm not going over, but that doesn't work for everyone. And you do not have to count calories to lose weight.
I never succeeded if I'd had to count calories.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. For me, it works because I like to eat the same foods, and so I only count my favorite foods, and I do it for a month, and then I just eat the same foods. Maybe. Yeah. So then you don't have to count forever. But that's me. I'm very type A. And then there's like the food group removal, right? Some people would rather just say, I'm not eating bread ever again. Okay. You know, different things work for different people. And so finding out what interests you is going to be the most important thing. It's going to work the best for you. I know that some people portion control, you know, like if you can just tell me what my portions are, I can go from there. And that works for people too. Like, this is your protein, here are your grains, here's your vegetables and fruit. But this is something that you and I talked about. And my husband and I joke about it all the time, that I quit my job to go back to school to spend $40,000 on a degree that tells me the same diet.
Listen, this is my favorite thing she said. Okay, say it again.
So the same diet works for everyone. It's fresh fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean meats, and just watch your saturated fat. That's the diet. That's the diet that works for everyone. And
no matter how you get there, that's what you have to do, period.
And every time I go to a new class, I'm like, same diet. Like, you know, we go when you're in this state of whatever. I mean, so wait, disclosure, diseases are different. If you're on dialysis, you're going to have a different diet. If you're diabetic, you're going to have a different diet. But I mean, for most of the population that doesn't have a disease or any kind of clinical illness, the same diet. It's whole foods. It's not processed foods. And that's it. Fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, fresh water, not soda, not chips, you know, unfortunately not processed foods. And so that it always cracks me up. I tell all my clients that. I'm like, listen, it's a whole foods diet. And if you eat like Tracy's 100% whole foods. She doesn't eat anything out of the norm of whole foods. And so Tracy doesn't have to count calories ever. And you guys can all witness, she's lost 20, 25 pounds since starting AIP, right?
Since starting AIP, yes.
And before that, you were already losing weight.
And how many, I think I'm like 60 something days in, 65 days. days, in 65 days.
And Tracy does not count calories. And actually yesterday I decided I wanted to count Tracy's calories because I want to see how much she's eating. And so I counted up. She sent me her daily like a recall.
You got all up in my business yesterday.
I got all up in her business. And
she did.
I told her to send me photos, and I asked her a ton of questions about every little thing that she puts in her body. And so Tracy's eating around 1,600 to 1,700 calories a day, give or take. Some days she'll maybe eat 18, some days 15. If you were to put in, and I'm going to make a point to why about the whole foods diet, so don't let me get too off track. But if we were to say, okay, Tracy, in an American diet, a standard American diet, we want you to lose weight. What we would do is we would reduce her calories from her height and her weight. We'd figure out what it is that keeps her on maintenance. We would reduce down and say, here's your calories to lose weight. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's like 1,200.
That's usually what you hear.
Yeah, and that's because, and there's truth to it. It works. As a nutritionist, yes, that does work. Because yours would be 1,375, which seems super duper low. But something that I like to tell people is there is a difference between a whole foods diet and a processed foods diet. And then there's something in the middle, the 80-20 rule. So right now, because you're eating 100% whole foods, calories aren't the same. You're eating nutrient dense food that is fulfilling your body. A lot of the foods you eat take calories just to break them down, to absorb them, to digest them. So it is different when you're eating a whole foods diet. So that's why there's such a huge difference between you're eating 1,600 to 1,800 calories a day, you're thriving, you're losing weight, you're glowing.
And it feels like way more calories than that. I eat all day. So it feels, I mean, I thought I was probably consuming 2,000 easily.
You're not. And it's because fruits and vegetables are very low in calories, but very dense in nutrients. And they're super bulky in fiber. So I'm sure you're feeling full all day too.
All day.
Which is something that's amazing because you're on steroids. And we all know in the medical field that steroids usually increase weight gain.
And
hunger, appetite. It works with your hypothalamus. It makes you really hungry. And
you guys, I haven't had any of that. None of it.
Which is amazing. And I think that goes to show fruits and vegetables and whole foods, that's the diet that we all want to be on. With that being said, we live in the real world, and not everyone is a student like Tracy who is perfect 100% rules. And a lot of us still eat ice cream, and they still want to go out to eat, and they want to eat the foods that are maybe more processed.
So that would be more like the 80-20 thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to decide why do you want to lose weight, or why are you overweight? And then number two, what's your personality type? How do you work? Then you have to choose which diet can you work on.
Right.
Can you do a whole food? Or do you need to do the 80-20, which is more mindful, which is what Lori is doing, right?
Yep.
Lori is doing it.
Yeah, Lori is a mindful eater for sure. She's dabbling with calories, and she's learned all by herself, which is amazing, how to read labels. We're always messaging back and forth about things on labels and how to correctly read labels, but she's a mindful eater, and it works really well for her. She's lost like 12, 14 pounds. Pretty rapidly and without a lot of stress. She eats healthy 80% of the time.
Awesome. Good for you, Lori.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Really.
And so this is the diet that I tell almost all of my clients. Like, this is a realistic diet. This is sustainable. If you could find 80% of your time that you're going to eat whole foods and then have cheat meals. Now, sometimes people need a cheat meal every day. That's fine. Let's figure out what that cheat meal looks like. It's going to be smaller if it's every day. Or one day a week. I mean, I have a client, Jake.
Yeah.
And Jake is one of my first clients. He's lost 40 pounds in 6 months. He's lost 5 inches. I need to get a photo of him so I can put it up on my website. He's like my mascot for clients. And
it's a guy.
Yeah, it's Jeremy's best friend.
That is so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, forgive me for saying this, but I think men have a harder time. Are we off track? We've done 3 steps, right?
There's 8.
I'm just impressed he's a guy and he's lost 40 pounds. Is he married? Does he have a wife? helping? Does he have a support system? He's on his own?
I'm his support system. Well, this is actually funny because I'm moving to Austin, and so now I'm doing meal planning classes with him and not everyone has a nutritionist that they can do it for him, but I make all of his food for him. His lunches, I grocery shop for him, and then I tell him what he's eating for dinner. So I'm like, here are your groceries. This is what you're eating. So I do the full everything for Jake.
Get the whole shebang. Okay. You're his support system.
What?
And you're moving.
And I'm moving. So I'm teaching him now. We're doing meal prepping classes, and he already knows his portions because it's been 6 months. So he's used to what I give him. And so I'm going to be doing meal planning classes in his kitchen to be like, look, Jake, this is what you're going to, so he can do it himself. I have a lot of tricks and tools. He can get it done in like an hour. It's really efficient. We'll go into that in a minute. So Jake is my amazing client that's lost a ton of weight. He's doing really healthy. He's like under his BMI is perfect now. He's in heart health range. He's doing awesome. So yes, it's definitely, my point of bringing up Jake was that he eats whatever he wants on the weekends. So I feed him Monday through Friday, very, very, very nutrient whole foods diet. And then on the weekends, he eats whatever he wants. And he doesn't.
Does he really do that? Or does he now, he's a little more conscious? Oh, he does.
Oh yeah. He drinks, he eats, whatever he wants.
And he has still lost 40 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he'll be like, so I had pork chops on Friday with French fries. I mean, he goes all the way out, all out, whatever you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Stephanie, hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. Stephanie's in a conference and she just couldn't stand it and she had to dial in. So she's going to pop in and out. So
hi, Stephanie. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So step 3, this is kind of like duh, but
and 4?
No, we're on step 3.
Okay.
Consistency. This one is really important. So after you've made step 1, 2, and 3, I think consistency will make it easier for you. A lot of us will start a diet and we'll be really excited about it for a week. And then all of a sudden we kind of go to this family event or we go out to dinner and we're like, oh, I messed up one day. I'm done. I'll have to start it again later. And I don't think that that's necessarily what needs to happen. You can have a small hiccup. We're human. We all make little, I don't even know if I'd call it a mistake. We have hiccups and on the wagon the next day. Stay consistent with what you're doing. Baby steps will lead to larger goals. Decide what's realistic for you. A lot of my clients will be like, oh, I don't need a cheat day. And I'm like, yes, you do. You need a cheat day. We talked about your diet. It's important. We'll wean you off your cheat day. Or maybe there's someone who's addicted to, let's say they drink 3 sodas a day. I'm like, okay, let's be realistic. Why don't we drink 1 soda a day and then we'll do every other day? And that, you can't give yourself unrealistic goals. So being consistent and deciding what's realistic for you is really important. For me, consistency is eating pretty much the same meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I rotate about 8 to 10 meals and then I just consistency, and so I think that's really important. I talk to a lot of clients about that. I do offer a program called the Favorite 8. And this is where we choose 8 of your favorite meals. And then I help you with your portions and we add some nutrition in, and then you just rotate them and it's mindless. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to do portions. You just rotate those 8 meals.
Yeah. I call it mono eating. That's what I call it. I eat like the same thing all the time.
You really, you do too. You have the same breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, and it's consistency, right? Like you don't have to, it's mindless. You don't have to think about it.
Right.
So that's really, really important. And that's really important because it helps with your meal planning too. If you're always, like for me, I can write my grocery list in my sleep. It's the same grocery list every single week. Yes, sometimes I make a new recipe, but I use the same ingredients. So I think that's really important. That doesn't work for everyone. Some people need a lot of variety. And so maybe we'll make 15 meals that are your favorite that we can rotate through and then change it up as we go. But I think this is something I tell clients too, is that the reason I call it your favorite 8, women especially, we have our favorite leggings, our favorite tank top, our favorite sandals.
Bra.
Yeah, your favorite bra. Like things that you wear all the time. Like you have a closet this big, but you wear the same clothes that make you feel good. Good on you.
That you find comfort in.
Yes. And that's what we all do. And then you maybe you'll buy like a trendy shirt to wear with your favorite tank top. or you'll buy a new purse. But like I mean, if you know me, I wear all black. I've been wearing all black my whole life because I love it.
We got black on today.
Yeah, like because that's my color. Like, sorry, like I wear all black. It looks good. My whole closet is black. But so it's the same thing with food, right? We're creatures of habit, and we like to consistency and habit, right? So find out what your foods are that you love and keep most of them. I mean, I'm hoping that you have some nutrition in there as well, and that's what I'm here to help with, is to help you add nutrition to your food, but it doesn't mean you can't ever eat pizza again or whatever it is that you love, you know? I think consistency is key for the 80-20 diet. So moving on to 4. So, and this is kind of, we talked about it a little bit in step 2, but making small changes over time. So replacing foods with better foods. Let's say you eat white bread. Maybe it's time to switch to whole grain bread. Maybe you like white pasta. Maybe it's time to switch to whole grain, whole wheat pasta. I'm a huge fan of carbs. Not everyone is. I think that there's a place for carbs in your diet. As long as you don't have an allergy and you're not a celiac and you don't have an intolerance, that 10,000 years, people over 10,000 years, people have been eating grains. And so if you don't have a problem with it, I don't have a problem with it.
I wonder if people are surprised to hear you say that, about that you are a huge fan of carbs. You guys, she's not going to try to take your carbs away.
No.
At all.
No. I have a shirt that says I love carbs. There's a difference between good carbs and bad carbs. And
let me give a disclaimer, because for those that are here have been following me, and I eat carbs. I eat a lot of carbs every day, but they're carbs in my fruits and my vegetables.
70% of your diet is carbs.
Yes, but it's coming from my fruits and my vegetables. So I am not doing grains at all, but that is because I have a disease and I have a special diet. So my diet's special. It's the AIP, the autoimmune protocol. So I am on no grains, but that is why, not because Korynn is not an advocate of carbs. I eat a lot of carbs, but they're from fruits and vegetables, not grains, because grains can be a trigger for people with autoimmune disease. So that kind of lets you guys know that.
Right. And absolutely.
Should I even take your carbs away?
Yeah, I won't take your carbs away. I'll just take away your bad carbs, which is kind of a lot of, it's really surprising to me how many people, when they hear the word carb, they think bagel, bread, they don't think of fruits and vegetables. You guys, kale is a carb, broccoli is a carb. So I love carbs. I think half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables and whole grains if you tolerate them. Whole grains are grains that haven't been milled and processed into that white powder. They still have the husk. They're still like nice and sprouty. Those are the grains that you want to eat and consume. The fiber is super important. So no, I do not take away carbs. And like Tracy said, if you have a special diet where you have inflammation, sometimes grains cause inflammation. And that's not everyone. That's only some people. And so that's something that we would determine for you specifically, because everyone's different. So that was 4. It's just replacing things. If you drink soda, maybe you get Crystal Light with soda water, like carbonated soda water. I have lots of tricks that I've learned in school and through being a nutrition educator. There's tons of ways that you can just make healthier choices every day. And that kind of goes with the mindful eating for sure. Just choosing better things. You know, a lot of my clients are like, what do I do about my sugar cravings? Like, I have sugar cravings. And I tell all of them when they wake up to eat a nice, maybe like eggs, like a fat avocado, eggs, and fruit. Eat a cup of fruit. Fruit will help you with your sugar cravings. Any client of mine, I'm like, eat fruit. Huh?
Fats. I was so surprised that fats, if I've had periods where I am craving or I've gone too long without food because life happens and I'm like, oh, I gotta, I literally, sometimes I've had very few moments, but I've had read and heard that, then eat an avocado, like eat or add some coconut oil to a smoothie real quick. And the fats really do satisfy you and they make that craving go away. That's so crazy to me because you think you want sugar, but it's really possibly the fat that you're craving. I mean, what is that? Why does that work? Do you know?
Well, you're craving nutrition. You're craving nutrients, right? Fat, the nice thing about fat is it satiates you. So eating fat, it stays in your stomach a little longer than carbohydrates. Fat and proteins take longer to break down, so they stay in your stomach longer than carbs. Even oranges, apples, those go fast. And so as a human, you need to feed yourself. So if you've had like a dip in, let's say, blood glucose because you haven't eaten in a little bit because of life, yes, fats are going to help you, but you are craving nutrition. So it can be in any form, glucose, protein, or fat. But the nice thing about fat is that I feel like fat and carbs both hit you really quickly. And you're like, you know, but most of us do reach for carbs.
Absolutely.
And because that's probably the fastest source of energy. That's why we, it's like built into our brain is to like reach for carbs.
Yeah, it's almost instant. So that totally answered my question.
Okay.
So it's instant. It's pretty.
Yes, and I love it.
Sorry.
Avocado will like, it'll hold you over for a while, which is really awesome. And it's also got carbs in it. A lot of people don't realize that there's like, I'm guessing right now. I think there's like 10 to 15 grams of carbs in an avocado. It's not just fat, you know? So you get a little bit, and it's got a ton of fiber. So you get a little bit of everything. Okay. So tip number 5 is to eat more fruits and veggies and learn how to incorporate them into your meals. I know that this is like, duh, but I thought it was important to put it on here because it's so true. Like, why do we have a problem eating fruits and vegetables? Even as a nutritionist, sometimes I open my fridge and I'm like, but you've never eaten a salad and regretted it. You've never been like, I wish I didn't eat that bowl of fruit.
Some people might have.
Well, I mean, most people, none of my clients say, man, I really wish I didn't eat that salad. You know?
Yeah.
It's why do we resist it so much? And so I think it's because we live in a modern world and we're inundated with marketing and foods that hit the palate that are full of fat and sugar and salt right away, instant gratification. And I just don't think a lot of us think about it. Like, eat fruits and vegetables. It sounds so much simpler than it is. And so I added it to the list because it's a part of being mindful. And I think it's important to try to eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible. And fruit is, for me, more bang for your buck because
I can't
sugar.
How many questions have rolled up that people are saying, I need good snack options, good snacks. Tell me good snacks. It's fruits and vegetables. It really is. I mean, they need to be your snack.
But you won't, before you eat fruits and vegetables, those cravings for like chips and I don't know, chocolate bars.
A bar.
Yeah, they go down. And even Tracy, you know how I feel about chocolate, okay? I cannot live without chocolate. Chocolate is amazing. You get magnesium. There's tons of minerals. It's fantastic. Cacao is different than milk chocolate. So we're talking about dark chocolate. But you have little coconut date balls that are super satisfying. It feels like dessert, and it's completely 100% healthy. It's chocolate, dates, and coconut oil, coconut flakes. Very simple, like a candy bar. So that's a perfect snack for a transition. Strawberries, oranges. Like I said, have you ever had a strawberry and like, man, I wish I didn't eat that? Like, no, it satisfies you. You just have to be like mentally in the mindset to say, I'm going to reach for fruits and vegetables. And with my clients, if they need a dip, go for it. I am not against dipping. If you're going to eat more fruits and vegetables by having guacamole or some kind of sour cream dip, if you don't have a dairy allergy, which is very few of us, if you need to eat more fruits and vegetables, do it. I mean, 100%. I think it's about being realistic with yourself. And I have clients that are like, I'm not going to eat sour cream or dairy yogurt dip because it's bad for me. And I'm like, are you going to eat more cucumbers? Are you going to eat more carrots with it? Then just eat it. You know, like all about balance. So I preach balance a lot. And this is the 80-20 is all about balance, balanced eating, mindful eating. Do what works for you. Everyone is different. So, okay. Number 6 is planning ahead. I think that it's really, really important. We had talked about the grocery shopping. Think about what you want to eat before you go to the grocery store. Write your list based on how your grocery store is laid out. And I know you're like, what? I have to do what? But think about it. When you walk into a grocery store, so my grocery store is produce and then meat, dairy, and all the crappy food is in the middle. Food that's really processed, I'm not talking spices and olive oil, and those are in the middle too, but like the frozen food aisle, the chips, the candy, it's all in the middle of the store. So if you can try to shop the perimeter of the store, you're gonna not tempt yourself as much to choose Reese's Pieces or chips or whatever it is that you're you're guilty.
That is so interesting. Yeah, that is so interesting.
So
That's true.
So then writing your grocery list around your grocery store. So when I write my grocery list, I put produce first, then I write down what meats I need. Then I write down if I need eggs or any kind of dairy. Like I literally write my list based on how my grocery store is set up. And then it's more, designated.
You're on track.
Yeah, you stay on track a lot more. If you go to the grocery store like, I don't know what I'm going to eat this week, you'll end up spending way too much money. You put a lot of things in your cart that you're not going to eat. So I think it's really important to plan ahead. Sit down, spend 30 minutes with yourself and your family and say, what do you guys want to eat this week? And you think about it, you write your list, and that's what you're buying, not other things. So that's a huge thing that I actually do grocery store tours with a lot of my clients. So we'll go to the grocery store together and I can help choose produce and just because I don't know, my parents never walked to me like, this is how you grocery shop. Like you have to figure it out. You have to go and look at the produce and like what's good, what's ready. Those are simple things that I wish we all knew, but we don't. No one teaches us those things. So I think it's really important. And that's a part of being mindful as well, planning it. Plus it takes away so much stress in the middle of the week when you've worked all day and you're exhausted and you come home and you're like, I don't know what we're eating tonight. If you planned it out early in the week, then you know. And then you know you're putting in nutrition dense foods. So that was 6.
Right.
7.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. 6 and 7 go together.
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you real quick, Korynn. If you've jumped on late, you guys, while Korynn is talking, we are going to have a question and answer session. So if you have questions, please throw them up in the comments, and I'm writing down ones that I think that she can address. So don't forget to throw your questions up. If you're there, feel free. Okay.
Okay, so I jumped into 7 already with 6. So 7 is grocery shop smarter. So we don't need to go over that. I just went over it. The only thing that I wanted to add to that is something I'm really excited about. My grocery here in Colorado just started the curbside. I know HEB does it in Texas. This is so big for a lot of my clients who they feel.
We actually have a lot. We have a lot of not only curbside, but we have a lot of furniture on the brain.
Awesome.
Food. We have a lot of food delivery. We have a lot of food delivery services, shopping and delivery
like
services
Instacart
in San Antonio.
Yes. So clients. Okay. Well, so I don't know how much it is at HEB, but here in Colorado, it's $4.95 to type in all of your groceries on the computer. You roll up, you call a phone number, and they bring it out to your car. I shop for like 6 clients right now, and I do meal prep for clients at my home and then bring it to them. It's saving, but also clients that are doing their own grocery shopping and they're like, when am I going to have time to plan out my meals, go to the grocery store? Like it's overwhelming. Just write your grocery list online and go pick it up. Spend $5. That's probably something you would spend on a snack that you don't need anyways. You know, it helps remove those temptations. And I think that's really good for a lot of us because it's hard to not, I mean, you're shoved. They do it on purpose at the grocery store. They have people in marketing that are like, we're going to put this here and this here because they're trying to get you to buy it. So if it works for you, maybe
try it. Yeah, it's a mind game. Their whole daily at the 9 to 5 job is trying to figure out how to get in our minds and make us buy that crappy processed product.
And listen to this. This is going to blow your mind. Okay, so when you go, and next time you go to your grocery store, I want you to think about this and see how true it is. When you walk into your grocery store, not all grocery stores, but this is the norm nationwide. You hit the produce section and the floor has tile or something, and it's like this. You ever feel tight in the produce section? Like, excuse me, right? And then you go to the freezer section and it's like, wide open spaces, smooth floors. You can get around people, open the doors. Yeah, because they want you in that section.
Out there.
Isn't it? It's crazy to me when you think about the rest of the grocery store compared to the produce section. It's like night and day. And they put tiles on the floor. It's annoying. Your cart's like, you're like, I got to get out of here. I'm claustrophobic. Which, you know, sometimes it doesn't make sense to me though, because I'm like, why would they do that? Produce is expensive, right? Well, not if you're going to buy 12 pizzas that are frozen. You're actually going to spend more money. So anyways, next time you're at your grocery store, check out the marketing that they're doing, little things that they're doing around the grocery store to try to get you to buy more processed foods than fresh foods. Okay, the last thing kind of goes right into that. Understand marketing. So understand label reading. I know it's really overwhelming for the nation. They're actually, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics have just helped pass a few laws about the labels, and sugar is going to be bigger now and bold, and it's supposed to say how many servings are in a container. Like one container is 600 calories and it's one serving, instead of saying, oh, well, there's only 190 calories in this can of soda or a bottle of soda, but there's 2.5 servings. So now you will be able to look and it'll say what's in the whole container, which is really important. But label reading is another day, but I wanted to just say, if it says organic, it doesn't mean anything if it's a box. If it's organic sugar, it's still sugar. If it's organic honey, honey is sugar in your body. I'm not against honey. I think you can still eat honey, but you have to be mindful of that. So that's something that I talk to about with my clients as well. And I know Lori's commenting, I can see it. She sends me messages all the time. She's like, what does this mean? You know, what is this? And the differences between sugars, like added sugar versus like fruit sugar. And just knowing how to read your labels and understand that just because it says natural or organic doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy for you. And so I think that's important, because a lot of my clients will be like, look at this new bar I got. It's organic. And I'll look at it and it's got 39 grams of sugar. And like,
they really tapped into that organic thing, didn't they? As far as marketing, like, oh, we'll just throw organic on there. And,
or natural, you know, all natural.
Or
and the thing,
raw.
The thing about natural is that anything that's on earth is called natural as far as legislation and label reading goes. So like, my hair is natural, the sky is natural, like everything can be natural. So they can use that word however they want. Now, organic, you have to be USDA for organic products. But like I said, organic sugar is still sugar. It doesn't make, like, the raw sugar is not better. Brown sugar is not better. Sugar is bad unless it comes in the form of fruit or natural sugar
that your body's had to work for.
Yeah. Something that has fiber in it, that has sugar, is okay with me. You know, a date has a lot of sugar, it has a lot of fiber. Banana, orange, apple, so on and so forth. So those are my tips for beginning your weight loss journey. Those are the things that I go over with my clients right off the bat, and start to eliminate things and kind of build this healthy lifestyle, because it's something that needs to be sustainable. And these are the things that I ask and the things that we go through to create something that's sustainable.
Okay, that was awesome. That was really, really awesome.
Good.
It was easy to follow, easy flow. I think a lot of people probably thought you were going to get on here and talk about only the whole food diet, because that's what we've been talking about a lot and most. But I really like that you have introduced the idea of the 80-20. And I wanted to ask you a question too. You mentioned that the pyramid was like the dinosaur in the schools, you know, and they don't even use that anymore. And they talk about my plate.
Yes.
And I don't know, what is that?
Oh, okay. So your daughter probably has learned about my plate in school. So instead of the pyramid, they try to make it more realistic. And so it's a plate. And when you look at it, it's sectioned off, and it's grains and fruit, vegetables and fruit on one side, lean protein, and then whole grains. So it says if your plate was this big, not like ginormous, but like an average size plate, this is what it should look like. So that goes back to mindful eating. Make sure half of your plate is fruits and vegetables. And then here's a small corner for lean proteins. And then here's a corner for grains. It does have dairy on there, which I don't agree with. Don't kill me. I hope no one works in the dairy industry. But 90% of the world is intolerant to dairy. Do I still eat dairy? Yeah.
90?
90.
You say 90?
Yes. Is dairy intolerant. So some people don't have any signs, but it's internal inflammation does happen. There's a lot of research out there. I could get in trouble probably for saying that. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of gray area, but the research says 90% of the world loses their enzymes to break down lactose when they're weaned off the boob. So once you're weaned, yeah. So people are like, but I still eat dairy and I'm fine. Absolutely. So do I. Eat feta, I eat goat cheese in small amounts, but you have internal inflammation that's going on. That's why when you see anti-inflammatory diets, the first thing they take off is dairy, you know? So my plate has a little cup for milk, and I just replace that with water. Like, it should say water. But it can be controversial. Okay. So sorry. I still eat dairy, but I don't drink milk because I don't want extra inflammation.
Matt's really glad that I'm not on dairy anymore.
Why is he glad? Are you being sarcastic?
No, Matt is like, I'm so glad you don't eat dairy anymore, because I just did. I mean, I loved my cottage cheese, and, you know, I used regular milk in my smoothies, and this was a while back, but, you know, it causes problems for me in the room.
Oh, yeah, because it makes me intolerant. So everyone's different. Yes. Some people have bathroom problems. Some people break out with acne. Some people, there's just this like little bit of inflammation. And you know what? We're humans. Our livers can handle inflammation, our kidneys, that's their job to remove toxins. But if you have a pretty high intolerance to dairy, then you get big like bathroom problems and things like that. So everyone's a little bit different, but the research shows 90% of the world is intolerant to dairy. That's not just from my mouth. That's from the research. So yeah.
That's an amazing percentage. I had no idea. No idea. Okay. All right. So are you ready for me to go back and read some of these questions?
I am. And just so everyone knows, if we don't get to them, I'm going to go through later and try to answer all of them on your comments after too, if we don't have time.
Before we get into this, in case we start losing some people, because we've already been on for a while, can you tell where they can find you? I mean, of course, we'll put the link into this, but how's the best way to contact you?
So I just launched my new website. It's www.lovely-nutrition.com. And I have all of the things, all of my services that I provide, my emails on there. You can email me directly through the website. I did talk to Kathy. She ended up responding a couple of days ago. Yeah, you can email me directly through there. And like Tracy and I talked, I can do FaceTime with you if you don't live nearby. Everything can be done virtually, and I do consulting. The first 30 minutes is free if you're like on the fence about if Lovely Nutrition would work for you. I do a free 30-minute consultation with clients that are on the fence too.
Nice. I didn't know that. And thank you. Lori put in your website there, lovely-nutrition.com.
And shout out to Lori for helping me clean up my website. She's helped immensely with my brochures and flyers, and it's still a work in progress. She's constantly helping me to make it look more beautiful.
The internet and meeting people is an amazing thing, isn't it? It's just amazing. Cool. Amazing. Okay, all right, so let's start here. Someone asked about hemp protein in your smoothies. How do you feel about hemp protein? I've never used hemp protein. I don't know anything about it.
Plant protein. I don't eat whey protein because whey is dairy, or it's connected with it. So I am a huge fan of plant protein. Hemp protein is perfectly fine, 100%. I prefer organic. Just because you have less chemicals, but I love Vega. There's an organic protein brand. There's hemp protein, 100%. Yes, I think it's great.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. And then someone asked, can they freeze their juice, their green juice that they make in the morning? I always tell them, based on just my own research, that it's best when used immediately. You get most of the benefits from it, but you can store it for up to 3 days. But anything after that, I've read, you're not really going to get much from it after.
I'm 100% with you. Yep. So you get the best, like literally juice drink, like drink it right away. I know a lot of people will juice for the week and put it in like a container. Every single hour that goes by, the nutrition becomes more and more depleted because it gets oxidized. So
freezing though.
What?
But someone's asking if they freeze it.
So you still get nutrition. Yes, you can freeze it for a couple of days. You're still going to get nutrients. You're just not going to get as many nutrients as you would if you juiced and drank right away. But I'm okay with juicing and freezing it because you're still getting nutrition.
It's still better.
Strong. It's better than soda. I mean, it has more nutrition than water. You know, like I still think it's great.
Okay, and you may have we may have discussed this already. The difference between fruit sugars, added sugars, and sugar alcohols. Is that too long? I mean, can you briefly?
That would take me a while to explain, and I would want to get some evidence-based research to make sure as far as sugar alcohols, because it's really complicated. But basically, in a nutshell, added sugar would be sugar. What we think of as white sugar, brown sugar, processed sugar, that is going to be added sugar, like on a container. And then you have fruit, which has natural sugar, but it has fiber with it. So it's not the same. You have like the sugar cane plant, and then you create sugar with that, which spikes your glucose up really high. And then you have fruit sugar, where you take a bite and it's got fiber, so it's more maintained. So that's why I'm such an advocate of fruit sugar, natural sugars, versus the spikes that you'll get with like a grain sugar that's highly, highly processed. I can talk about alcohol sugars, but it would take me a long time. There's a lot of biochemistry in it, and yeah.
Maybe that's something that, because a lot of people that are doing like keto and even paleo or Atkins, those sorts of things, they eat a lot of sugar alcohol. So if they're eating the processed packaged type
There's
stuff.
still
So,
calories
maybe that's
in sugar alcohol. So that's like the main thing that people want to know, is that yes, there are still calories in sugar alcohols, and they cause a lot of gas problems. There's people that will go. I have a dietitian that told a story that one of her patients, for years, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. They thought she had irritable bowel disease. They could not figure it out. They found out she was chewing gum with sugar alcohols. They took the gum out and it went away. So yeah.
Amazing. Wow. That's crazy.
I know.
Okay.
And she's fine.
So maybe that's something we could have you back to do, you know. I mean, it'd be nice if we could do once a month or something like that, Korynn. We can talk about that. But if we could just like choose one heavy topic that I continue to get questions about on Fridays, and maybe you could come on and maybe not do as long as this first one, but you know, just choose a topic.
Yeah.
So, okay. How do you feel about frozen vegetables?
I'm great. 100%. A lot of the freezing of vegetables happens right on the farm. So I buy organic frozen vegetables, and they freeze it right there. So the nutrition is preserved. I think it's great. If it works for you, do it. I think fresh produce is number one, but it's expensive. And it's sometimes we don't get around to eating that fresh asparagus, and then we throw it away. That's a huge problem for a lot of clients, is that I didn't get around to eating it, or I cheated, and now I have to throw all this food away. Well, first of all, you're buying too much if you're throwing it away and you're not planning. But even then, just frozen vegetables is perfect. Frozen spinach, you can put frozen spinach in your smoothie, like.
And right, yeah. Oh, that's a good tip. I've never done that, and I put spinach in everything.
Me
I had
too.
no idea I could use that in my.
Yeah. So
wow,
you're gonna get a little bit more nutrition from fresh, but it's not enough to say don't. I mean, it's cheaper. Good. Even organic frozen.
Tip. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that tip. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big question. And this is someone that I know personally who's on here, and she follows, and she really feels bad. I think she has some autoimmune stuff going on herself, and she really wants to try this, but she cannot stand vegetables.
Sounds like me when I was pregnant. I couldn't stand.
I mean, I think she likes like ones you shouldn't. She likes like corn, and you know, like she doesn't.
Potatoes, like
she doesn't like the ones. Yeah. What do you do for clients like that?
Okay, so Jeremy's brother, like he won't. If it's green, he will not touch it. He will not touch it. You know what I mean? I have clients like this. They cannot stand vegetables. It's too bitter for them, and that's fine. Hide them in your foods. So I have a client that absolutely hates anything green, and we found a way to puree spinach into her spaghetti sauce. And so she's getting, you can puree vegetables and hide them in sauces and smoothies. Highly recommend doing that. Even if you're like, but I don't like green smoothies, you can do a berry smoothie and add spinach, and you will not taste it. Just blend. If you don't like it, it's very hard for me to say, no, you have to eat your vegetables. Try, keep trying. I mean, the thing about vegetables is you get a lot of nutrients, a lot of phytochemicals and phytonutrients, but mostly minerals, a lot of your vitamins come from fruit. So vitamins, vitamin B, vitamin C, those are from fruits. You can get them from vegetables too, but vegetables are mineral powerhouses. So
okay.
I
maybe
try
for
to sneak them in.
So Lonnie, for someone like you, because I mean, she's saying right now corn and green beans, and that's about all she likes. So
Green beans, that's perfect.
I mean, Lonnie, Korynn is saying you get a free 30-minute consult. Really, seriously, I think you need someone to help you come up with even just 5 meals that you could rotate during the week. So it probably would be beneficial to you, Lonnie, to contact Korynn and just do your 30-minute thing, get a feel, see if she could lay out a good little map for you that you could try, and see if we can kind of reset your taste buds. See if we can figure out a way to do it. She knows she is. She says she's going to contact you. Okay, thank you. All right, so cool. Let's move on.
I said cool.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I get asked this question a lot. I personally get asked this on the website a lot. There are a lot of people that are following with different autoimmune type diseases, and one of them is, I don't know how you say this one, but it's that Sjogren's syndrome, and also hypothyroidism, and they are told that they are not supposed to eat like the cruciferous vegetables and kale and spinach. That evidently that's, like goiter. What are those called? Goiter.
Yeah, you could increase goiter.
Yeah. So, but then, in doing my own research, which you tell me not to, there's a lot of controversy about that, and they're saying you have to eat so much of that to make that happen. Do not let that stop you from taking on those nutrients. So, and I know that you have to be really careful, and you can't recommend with, people without them, checking with their doctors. But how do you feel about that? What is your feeling on that? What's your opinion?
So I was diagnosed with hypothyroid in my first trimester. My mom is hypothyroid. My sister is hypothyroid. So this is like, I would love to be a dietitian in an endocrinologist's office someday about thyroid, because it is so fascinating to me. But with that being said, yes, it's super controversial because the research is still to be determined, which is so annoying. That's a lot of the research out there. You need a large amount of research to say, this is it. But personally, what does Korynn think? This is not the Academy of Nutrition. This is not, I did a hypothyroid diet when I was pregnant. They tried to put me on levothyroxine. Terrible response to that drug. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And I did a hypothyroid diet, which is almost identical to autoimmune. And I cured my hypothyroid, and I ate lots of Brussels sprouts and lots of broccoli and lots of kale and lots of spinach and no grains, no dairy, no sugar. I was really, really strict, and my levels are normal. And they say you can if your mom got hypothyroid after baby, you probably will. And I didn't. So I personally think you should take your own path and do the research. There's a lot of really good books out there on hypothyroid, written by doctors, endocrinologists, holistic nutritionists. And I ate a lot of those vegetables, though. So
you did the opposite. You ate a lot of them and reversed your condition instead of avoiding them, and that's crazy.
Like I basically followed the diet you're on right now, and I did it and it didn't take me long. It's so funny. My midwives were like, wow, that medicine works so quickly. Your levels are back to normal. And I did not tell them until after the baby was born that I had not been taking my medication the whole pregnancy, because I was scared they wouldn't let me be in the birthing center. I just lied. That's probably not ethical at all. Actually, y'all, that's not ethical at all. I'm sorry that I admitted that on camera. But I was like, I'm not taking your drugs. So,
that's funny, Korynn.
So that's like real Korynn. Like I do what my body tells me, and I advocate for that for my clients. Like do what your instincts tell you to. Like yes, there's a lot of research, but like if you think that something might help you, or there's something that resonates with you when you read, then try it. I mean, the worst case scenario, my thyroid would have gotten worse, and I'd be like, that was a bad idea. But I just don't think fruits and vegetables are really going to hurt you. Unless if you have diabetes, please don't go eat a bunch of fruit. You're a different condition, have insulin issues, and so that's a little bit different. But for, You can
Okay.
dive into the.
All right. So my next question is, do you prefer agave, honey, or stevia for added sweetener?
Stevia.
Okay.
I think agave and honey have a place in the diet. I love agave and honey just as much as everyone else. Something to think
They
about.
used to have a great place.
What?
Agave had great place in agave used to have a great place in my margaritas when I could drink a margarita.
Yeah. Oh, I love margaritas.
No more.
Here's the thing about it. It acts the same way in your diet. When you eat honey, your body's like, ooh, glucose, and it breaks it down into chains of glucose, and it absorbs just like glucose. So if I were to say, if somebody says high fructose corn syrup versus honey, they're the same inside your body. I hate to tell everyone that, but they act the same inside. So,
so what? How do do it? Why is stevia different?
Stevia doesn't have the same kind of calories. It's not a sugar. It's a plant that doesn't. It's
a plant, so it isn't broken into glucose chains because it's not glucose.
Exactly. Well, it has. I'll have to get back to that. It has. All plants have glucose in them. I would have to get back to you on that because I don't want to give the wrong information. Stevia is like almost 0 calorie, and so it's like a natural sweetener that doesn't have sugar as far as I know, but because it's a plant, it has glucose. So now I'm like, let me do some research on that and make sure. I know 100% high fructose corn syrup and agave and honey are in the same line. I would have to do research on stevia. I don't want to give the wrong information. I think the bio makeup, I think, is a little bit different.
This is more of a disease question, but I mean, I just want to throw this out there too. Someone's saying that they have gout and the medications and things haven't been helping, and do you think that this 80-20 or whole food diet would be something that would be beneficial for like pain relief?
Absolutely. Gout is a condition that the diet's a little bit more strict, so I would have to talk to that person about there's a clinical diet for gout. But whole foods, 100%, they are not going to hurt you. There are some things that you would need to look out for, but I could talk to that person individually and kind of see what's going on with them and what medications. Like I said, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a registered dietitian, so I cannot give any kind of like.
But you're familiar with gout and what diets need. And I think
we go over.
I didn't write the name down, but I think it was Mary. I think it was Mary Eller. I think that's who it was. So if you'll contact Korynn, and maybe y'all can come up with something that can get you some relief for that. So, all right, someone's asking, what about young girls? My daughter is 12, and oh yes, Jennifer. Jennifer's been on here before. Her daughter is 12. Her daughter had a liver transplant. Really wants to put her on a good diet. A high percentage of children that have liver transplants become obese. Okay, her comment is long. I don't have it all here. If I remember correctly, her daughter they still don't know what killed her liver. They don't know. I think she has other children too. And anyway, her liver was attacked. Her liver, she had to have a transplant. And she's on steroids and she's gaining weight and she's got cravings. It's affecting her moods. And she really wants to put her on a good, healthy diet, but she's 12 and that's tough. That's a tough call. It's a really, really tough call.
How can you tell your kid they can't have cake?
Especially when you have other children in the house, other kids in the house too. It's like the whole family would have to make the change.
100%. Anything that happens in a family needs to happen to the whole family. It's really unfortunate. People say, well, because you have this condition, you can't have soda, but they can. You can't do that. So when you're in a family and you want to help one of your significant others that you love, one of your family members, you have to make that transition for everybody. Everybody goes on the whole food diet. You can't have just one person doing it. It's not fair. And especially at 12, that's already a difficult time with hormones and everything that's going on. I would recommend doing a whole food diet for the whole family. I would also recommend seeing a dietitian. I'm sure she already has. But if she hasn't, see a dietitian because that's a very specific field.
she has seen a dietitian yet. They're still, if I remember correctly, her transplant was in April. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was. So I think they're just coming up on a year, and they've been undergoing a lot. So, but I think she's ready. She's very ready to start tackling that. So, okay, I'm glad she popped on. So hopefully she will reach out to you, and you can help or guide or direct her with that, because, you know, my heart goes out to that little 12-year-old. That's 12-year-old girl is tough enough, you know, and then to have to be dealing with, but she seems to have the daughter seems to have a really good attitude about it, if I remember correctly. So, all right, I'm probably going to ask one more question, and then we're going to go.
Okay.
Because we've already been on an hour, and also my phone battery is dying quickly. Doing dual screen must use more of a battery or something. I don't know.
I looked at mine.
Someone was asking about coconut oil, a teaspoon of coconut oil every day. They heard that's really good for them. And I'm going to say that I put coconut oil or an avocado, one or the other, in a smoothie every single day. But, you know, if they're not doing an 80-20 or a whole food diet, is that going to help them if they're on a processed food diet?
No, it's just adding more fat to their diet, more calories. Coconut oil is a medium chain triglyceride. So it kind of passes your digestion and goes into your portal vein. So it's a different fat. Medium chain triglycerides are much different. There's a lot of research right now about coconut oil. It is a saturated fat as well. And there's a lot of research about saturated fat and what does it mean. And there hasn't any really obvious conclusions. It's still yet to be determined. So if you're trying to lose weight and you're still eating like carbohydrates, like an 80, not carb, sorry, take that back, an 80-20 diet, I don't know if coconut oil is going to be that great for you, because you're just adding calories. If you're eating a whole foods diet like you, Tracy, it's just different. The metabolic process is 100% different. So a client that's trying to lose weight, I wouldn't recommend adding it unless they love it. If you love coconut oil and you want to cook with it, and you like eating it, go for it. But if you're just adding it because you read somewhere on the internet that it's good for you, ask yourself, why is it good for you? Why do you want to take it? Because it does have a lot of calories in it. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Korynn, for being here. And thank you guys for hanging. We had a really good amount on here the entire time, just in the last few minutes. We had some drop off. So,
okay, cool.
Thank you guys so long. And if you would like to have Korynn back, be sure and comment and let us know, so that like and share this video. It was so full. It's just chock full with good information. And I highly, highly, highly recommend the whole food diet, because I feel the most efficient and the most effective. That is my favorite. I think it's Korynn's favorite too, but I think she's trying to stay real, and that a lot of people don't think that they can tackle that. But maybe you could pick a set amount of time. Maybe you could do it for 30 days and then switch over to 80-20 after that. So anyway, I hope that that you guys will share this and let it help us get information out there for people. And Korynn, I love you, honey. Thank you so much for being here, and we would love to have you back. And that's all I have to say right now. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you. I love you too, and I really had fun. And like I said, I will follow up with the question about the, as well as the question about what was the other one I was going to follow up on? The stevia, and then the liver medical nutrition for that, and the gout. That's all medical nutrition therapy, so I can do some research and give some advice on the feed. But definitely contact me, and I'd be happy to help anyone out that I can help. And I'd love to come back. I had a great time.
Yay. Okay, thank you, Korynn. Thank you, and thank you for all you've done for me, guys. She's been a lifesaver. She really has. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of your support. And you all have a wonderful weekend, and make something fancy this weekend.
Be fancy.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. Y'all have a happy Friday evening.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.